Well, hello, Lumineers. I'm Ryan Miller, brand manager and co-designer of Disney Lorcana, and I'm here to welcome you to this edition of the Lorecast. Now, I've been personally very excited about this one because it's Azurite Sea, and you may not know this about me, but I'm kind of an Age of Sail nerd. I love sailing ships and pirates and treasure and buccaneers and swashbuckling and all the buckles. So I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. In fact, you may have heard me reference this all the way back to set 1 when I made these quotes about a pirate deck that I've been playing. Well, I shouldn't have said that because I was playing cards from this set, playtesting future cards. But now I can actually talk about it. So here we are, folks, Azurite Sea. Following a map, our Lumineers set sail on the beautiful yet unpredictable Azurite Sea. They'll have to be vigilant as the high seas not only brings high adventure, but frightful danger. From coconut-clad pirates to giant wave mazes, there are plenty of loose cannons on the sea. Regardless, with new faces and heroes joining the crew, it'll be a journey anyone would want to record in their logbook. And speaking of new heroes, we've got Big Hero 6. Baymax is joining the crew. And what adventure would be complete without the Rescue Rangers? So let's talk a bit about the products for Azurite Sea. Now, this time around, we're doing something a little different with our gift set. We're doing the Stitch Collector's Gift Set. I'll give you one guess as to the theme. That is right. It is an entirely Stitch-themed set. You get a portfolio that has the art. Every piece of art that Stitch has appeared on in Lorcana is going to be on that portfolio. You get 4 Azurite Sea booster packs. You also get a special foil promo, Stitch Alien Buccaneer, only available in that set. Of course, we have everybody's favorite booster packs. Who knows what treasures lie within? And speaking of treasures, we have our treasure troves, a term that makes a lot more sense now in a pirate-themed set. We have our single-player decks, which you can just pull right off the shelf and play. A lot of fun there. Now, all of these I've had to show you kind of digitally because we're filming this at a time when those don't exist yet. But what I do have to show you right over here are the accessories. You may remember that starting with Shimmering Skies, we decided that we're going to use art from any set we wanted to for the accessories. And we've continued that here with Azurite Sea. So first off, we've got these wonderful Scar sleeves. This is that enchanted card from Shimmering Skies. Wonderful piece. And a quick Scar story, if I might. Now, before the game launched, I went to New York Toy Fair, and I was talking to some folks, and I had just a deck of cards, and I was kind of shuffling while I was talking, and I put the deck down on this kind of raised table that we were standing next to, and a card falls off the top, and that card happened to be Mufasa. Falls right down. And I turn over the next card, and it was Scar. And no one believes me. But there was a lady there. I said, "Did you see that?" She said, "Yes, I saw that." No one believes me that it happened. Okay, Scar pushed that card. You can't tell me otherwise. Anyway, so we've got this awesome set here. We've got the sleeves. We've got the matching deck box there. Now, many of you also may know that sometimes I like to abuse my power to get certain cool things to happen. But in this case, I didn't need to because everyone loves the Honey Wizard. So we finally have Honey Wizard sleeves, the Honey Wizard deck box. I'm pretty sure that all my decks now are going to be in this deck box. It's going to be very confusing for me, but that's fine. But very excited about that. Now let's talk playmats. We have some beautiful art for our playmats, starting with Elsa, the Fifth Spirit. Let's look at that beautiful piece there. Very excited there. And in accordance with the theme of Azurite Sea, we of course had to use Donald Duck Buccaneer. Well, since the last time I saw you, we've had a ton of great events, and our team has just been everywhere. We had Gen Con, and that's where we celebrated the first anniversary of Disney Lorcana. It was the first place you could get that really great gold pin. We had a ton of events for our Lumineers out there. We even had a Lumineers Quest room where folks could come in and try their hand against Ursula. And then we went to California for D23. We kicked off the week by going to the Angels baseball game. We showed a lot of folks Gateway, and we handed out a bunch of cool stuff. And then we did family game night. Not only were we teaching Lorcana with Gateway, people also learned about Chronicles of Light, which is our new Disney game, and also, of course, Villainous. And the booth itself was really fun. There were tons of people there. I just love coming out and shaking hands and taking pictures and signing cards. It was super fun. We had a ton of folks there. We're selling that really cool D23 collection. In addition to all sorts of other fun stuff, we had Shimmering Skies there for its launch day. I got to go to Downtown Disney, and because we were also selling it there, and that was really fun because I handed out some pins and I met a lot of folks there. We of course did the D23 panel where we had many great announcements for the future of Lorcana. And if you couldn't make the panel, don't worry. I'm about to go over some of the highlights right now. Now, at this panel, we wanted to let people know that we have got some exciting plans for the future of Lorcana, and that, of course, involves some new stories and new heroes coming to the game. Now, Lorcana is, of course, the realm of all stories, from the popular to the lesser known. So next year, you're going to get Black Cauldron Glimmers. In 2026, a favorite princess enters play. Finally, Pocahontas, Miko, Flit, and more can join your team of Glimmers for exciting new quests. And one of the most often asked questions we get about who's coming to the game can finally be answered, because we are thrilled to announce that Pixar will be coming to Disney Lorcana in the next few years. So that's a lot about the future of Lorcana, but I do want to take a look back at the first year, and I have to say it has been a wonderful year. We have been so honored to be a part of something that has created such a wonderful community, that has created so many smiles, so many relationships, so many connections, and we just wanted to take a quick look back.
I'm very excited for this. This is the first ever Lorecast, is what they're calling it.
Bruno? What the heck?
Instead of playing against your friends and family, you are now playing with them. It is a cooperative experience where you will team together to defeat the Ursula Glimmer and save Lorcana itself.
Dude, these are sick looking.
Oh my god! Chicago!
We've got some exciting events coming up that I want to tell you all the details about. The European Championship will be at Disneyland Paris Resort in December of 2024, and I will see you there. I'll also see you at the North American Championships in the Disneyland Hotel at the Disneyland Resort in California in January 2025. And of course, everything culminates in the World Championships in 2025, and where else would it be? The Walt Disney World Resort. Now, one thing we talked about at the D23 panel, but I wanted to give it kind of its own space here at the Lorecast, is Disney Lorcana Quest. Now, Lorcana Quest is another way to Lorcana. We already have our challenge events, and those focus more on the competitive play aspect, whereas Disney Lorcana Quest focuses on the social aspect of playing. And so you might be playing like in a big multiplayer game, you might play other ways, or you might not play the game at all. Maybe it's about dressing up as your favorite Glimmer. Maybe it's about trading and collecting with other Lumineers. Lorcana Quest events just give you another way to have fun with Lorcana. And one of my favorite things about Lorcana is the fact that we are going wider and wider to reaching more places in the world, truly trying to go global. It's really exciting. I just got back from Shanghai a few weeks ago, and I want to say xie to the wonderful people I met out there. We went to China Joy. Lots of people learned about the game. They learned how to play. It was super fun. I had some great food and just some really great times. Steve Warner, my co-designer, he actually just got back from Tokyo, and I'm pretty sure he's more Wagyu than man now. But he had a wonderful time as well, and he would like to say arigato gozaimasu to the wonderful people of Japan. We are, of course, launching there early next year. Very exciting. Now, this is normally the part of the Lorecast where I show you a bunch of cards from the set that are Ryan-sized, and I can't do that because, as many of you pointed out, they weren't big enough. So instead of showing you Ryan-sized cards, I'm going to show you Ryan-sized cards. Before I do that, though, I want to say hi to my friend Edgar Paston, who is also one of the art directors for Disney Lorcana. Come on, man.
Good to be here.
Oh, it's good to have you, man.
Nice shirt.
It's true. And Edgar, how long have you been an art director with us now?
A little over 3 years.
Oh, that's outstanding.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty much from the beginning almost, right? Like,
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay, and then of course you worked on this set as well. And
Yeah, I got to be set lead on this one this time around, so it was a lot of fun.
and what is set lead? What does that mean from an art director standpoint?
Really, it just means that we get to decide on what the look and how the physics work on things, and which we'll get into a little bit.
Awesome. Well, I do have some cards I want to show off here. You play with your sons too, right?
I do. I have two sons, and my older boy is a great player. He gets into it. You know, he's learning. He's learning.
No,
He's
I met him down at
stage.
D23. We had some games together. He was amazing. All right. So let's start off now. Big Hero 6 is, of course, one of the big franchises that are making their entrance here with Azurite Sea. So let's start off with the man himself, Baymax. He is a 3-cost inkable, 0 strength, 4 willpower, 2 lore. His name is Baymax Personal Healthcare Companion, which I like the formality there. It's kind of nice. Ability fully charged. If you have an inventor character in play, you pay 1 less ink to play this character, and you said ow. For 2 ink, remove up to 1 damage from another chosen character.
Yeah, I think the art is beautiful, right? But the fact that the flavor text, like you said, ow, that's just so cool to me that they tie all of that stuff together.
It's one of my favorite things. Like when we first were coming up with the game, we knew we wanted to have as much theme on the cards as possible. And of course, there's what we would call flavor text, which is usually at the bottom, kind of in italicized text here. But we also what we call ability names, and these are just always kind of like to the character here, and we just want to help them convey like what's happening on the card and stuff. But it's another way too to get some really fun theme out of the cards.
To help you tie into all that stuff.
Yeah, this is fun. All right, now this one, said if you have an inventor character in play, well, what do we have? Perhaps Hiro Hamada. There we go, Hiro Hamada.
It's a great next card.
That's right. Is a 3-cost inkable, Hiro Hamada, robotics prodigy. 0 strength, 3 willpower, 1 lore, has the ability Sweet Tech. Exert and pay 2 ink. Search your deck for an item card or a robot character card and reveal to all players. Shuffle your deck and put that card on top of it. And at the bottom it says a couple more tweaks, and I've just about got it.
Yeah, I'm glad you read all of that because people ask me at conventions all the time, like, can you clarify it? And I'm like, probably not.
But I can tell you about the art.
Yeah, I can tell you about this art.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I think for this one was a little bit tough because of his hair. His hair.
Oh, interesting. Sure.
I mean, it's beautiful. It turned out wonderful. I think Denny did a wonderful job.
Oh yeah, like reflecting the screen on this side, but kind of differently on this side.
Finding the right balance too, because there's only so much volume that you can add.
I know about hair volume and lack thereof. But what I think what's interesting is that our art, on the card is, it's so tiny, but the amount of detail that goes into the art is really amazing. If you really look at all the things on his desk, everything. Yeah. And that's one of the things I love about the game is the attention to detail. I think that is one of my favorite parts of it really is because that's how we show people our love for this game and our love for these characters as well.
That's our visual love language, right?
That's right. That's how we show we love.
With
attention to detail there. Okay, next up, still with Big Hero 6, Honey Lemon. Chemical Genius.
Yeah.
A 2-cost inkable, 1 strength, 1 willpower, 2 lore. The ability, here's the best part. When you play this character, you may pay 2 ink to have each opponent choose and discard a card. Oh, look at that.
It's not. Yeah, exactly. You were talking about detail earlier, and not only does the artist have that say, but our art directors who are amazing, by the way, and I'm not counting myself. But
well, you should.
The art directors that are involved in these pieces, Aris, who did this piece, and the art directors are really looking at those details and really wanting to infuse a lot of that movie magic into these pieces.
No, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. And you're going to love this as the flavor text kind of tickles me because when you play her, your opponents are not going to love this at all. They're going to have to but it's kind of neat too because you these types of cards, and this is clear, this is not the first set that does this, but these types of characters that you can pay an additional cost when you play them, I think came out of Shimmering Skies for the first time. They had a really nice strategic choice, right? And that's something that Emerald is really known for, is kind of choosing, being flexible and that sort of thing. And so this idea of do I play her for 2 ink just because I need a character out and 2 lore is pretty tempting, or do I wait till I have 4 ink to really get all the effect out of her? And that can be pretty interesting because it turns what is normally she costs 2, might be an early game play, but if you draw her late game, you're not really sad, right? Normally you might be sad late game to draw a 2-cost card because you're like, man, I really need something that's a heavy hitter. But this one, can still have that late game effect. So I think that's a fun mechanic. All right, now we have Fred, mascot by day. His face in this piece. But let me get through the card and we'll talk about the art. So it is a 1-cost inkable, 1 strength, 1 willpower, 1 lore, and his ability, how cool is that? Whenever this character is challenged, gain 2 lore, and he says, but by night, I am also a school mascot. It's just such a fun. But his face, I adore this art.
Yeah,
It is super
and we
fun.
thought it was hilarious to have him doing the sign spinning thing. You know, like it's such a like, that's how you meet him in the movie. So
it's
yeah,
super fun.
a lot of really cool stuff going on in this one.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. All right, coming up now.
And being in that costume is hilarious.
Almost done with the Big Hero 6 ones, but we have a legendary Big Hero 6 coming up. So, you know. But next up we have Wasabi. Methodical Engineer is a 4-cost inkable, 3 strength, 3 willpower, 1 lore, 2 abilities now. First one is Blades of Fury. When you play this character, you may banish chosen item. Its player gains 1 lore. And quick reflexes. During your turn, this character gains evasive. And of course, here he's using his blade there to break some chains. Is there a story behind the chains there?
Well, that's actually part of what you're going to be seeing. There, we always have this narrative.
Yeah,
you know, kind of always broken out in between the cards, and that's part of the narrative that you're going to be discovering.
So it's for us to figure out.
Cards.
Yeah, it's for us to figure out. I love that.
I won't give too much detail, but it is part of a short narrative.
And these are kind of fun abilities here too. Like this one is like, sure, I'll probably use it on my opponent to get rid of an item that I don't want them to have.
Yeah.
But in a pinch, you use it on your own to once again get some surprise lore out of it too.
Yeah.
So. And I promised you a legendary from the Big Hero 6
yes.
franchise, and of course it has to be Baymax Armored Companion. This is a 5-cost inkable, 2 strength, 6 willpower, 2 lore. The ability, the treatment is working. When you play this character and whenever he quests, you may remove up to 2 damage from another chosen character of yours. Gain 1 lore for each 1 damage removed this way. This is a fun piece of art right here.
What a good way to swing the pendulum there.
Well, and this is also, going along with the theme that started, I believe, in Shimmering Strides, or was it before that, where the art for the legendaries breaks the border in certain key places. I think it's a really fun detail there.
Yeah, we've had a lot of fun playing around with how we do that and how far we go, and we're starting to get into the groove here.
Yeah, no, it looks amazing.
How we're breaking that plane.
And it's like subtle, but it's really effective, I think, especially with like brighter effects like this. And then you've got these interesting little things here. Can you tell us about those, or are those still secret?
No, not secret at all. I think those are the Ink Runner ships.
Ink Runner ships.
Those happen to be native to the world of Lorcana, and you're going to see a lot more of those and a lot of different versions of that same ship.
Right. So these are how like Illumineers and their Glimmers might like traverse large distances.
For those that don't fly on their own, I would say, right?
Right.
Because they
like
have the luxury of
Baymax.
they have the luxury of going around on their own. But yeah, we have some very cool little Ink Runners coming up. And
awesome.
You guys will get to see a couple of them.
That's exciting. Very cool. Okay, now moving on to Rescue Rangers.
My childhood.
My teenagehood. I don't know. I'm an old man. I don't know. Anyway, but of course, we have Chip, Ranger Leader, starting off this part of the card reveals. He is a 4-cost inkable, 3 strength, 4 willpower, 2 lore, has ability to value friendship.
Aww. Yeah.
While you have a character named Dale in play, this character gains support.
Yeah, this is just one of the many cards that we like to tie and have that synergy, crossing both cards. And,
sure.
And this is actually perfect because not only does the art connect, but so does like the
mechanics, like the game.
It's so cool.
Himself, he wants to have Dale out. Yeah, that's super fun.
Yeah, beautiful card by French.
It's again lots of detail in there. Now, speaking of, we don't have the art you were talking about, but we do have Dale. This one is Dale Mischievous Ranger.
Just as good.
Hey, he is a 4-cost inkable, 3 strength, 4 willpower, 1 lore with the ability Nuts About Pranks. Well, when you play this character, you may put the top 3 cards of your deck into your discard to give chosen character -3 strength until the start of your next turn. And this one's cool because they're both on there. Chip and Dale are both in the art here. And I love that he's dropping acorn bombs.
Or 3 specifically. Right?
Oh, sure.
Because that ties, yeah.
So he drops 3 acorns on whoever you want to challenge, and they lose strength because they're like ducking head under the... I love that story of the card. That's super fun.
We try and tie little details into this as much as we possibly can. Because we're also, we're also big fans, as I mentioned.
Yeah, you guys play. This is... Yeah, and you love Chip and Dale. The Rescue Rangers. Outstanding. Yeah. All right. And then, of course, we couldn't do Rescue Rangers without Gadget Hack Wrench.
Yes.
Right here. She is a 6-cost inkable, 3 strength, 6 willpower, 3 lore. She is the Brilliant Bosun. Yeah. She has Shift 4, and her ability Mechanically Savvy. While you have 3 or more items in play, you pay 1 ink less to play inventor characters. So this is like, I'm sure a lot of you are already going, inventor deck.
Yep.
I'm going to build the inventor deck. But we see another ink runner there.
Runner, yeah.
That's really cool. And she's kind of like standing. I love that classic gadget pose right there. Thumbs up. She's super cute.
Adorable,
the
yeah.
goggles and the ears popping out like an eyepiece. It's just.
And as a bonus, we got to learn a new word here. I didn't know what bosun meant.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
It's like expert.
Well, it's a ship's crew. It's a ship's crew.
Yeah.
They have a whistle, a bosun's whistle.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, and
I did not know that.
They have a special whistle there. Other than that, I'm not sure what they do.
Like they're supposed to be like a specialized person on the ship. But
That's what lots of people watching going, okay, guys. Ryan said he was an Age of Sail nerd. Yeah, okay. Well,
you guys make us smarter with these little details.
Oh my! I like that we have little screws and nuts for scale too. That's kind of fun too. Okay.
It definitely helps with a small character like her not look gigantic.
Right. All right, wrapping up our reveals for Rescue Rangers, we have Rescue Rangers Away! This is a 2-cost inkable action, and it says count the number of characters you have in play. Chosen character loses strength equal to that number until the start of your next turn. And this one is just a lot going on.
Yes, yeah. This is like instant nostalgia for folks that were there during that time, right? Like this is your Friday afternoon.
Oh, it's amazing. I love it.
Yeah, and Mariana is one of, just one of the many very super talented artists that work on this, and she is amazing. She has a lot of love for Rescue Rangers too. She was right around that time.
It's pretty clear too. I mean, the detail here and this is amazing.
Yeah.
What I think is interesting from a gameplay standpoint here is that normally any card that reduces a character's strength only does it the turn you play it. This one extends until your next turn. So this means that not only can you challenge that character on the turn you play this and not get any or get less damage back, but on their turn they won't want to challenge with it. So you might use it that way too, saying, well, that character has high strength, I'm going to reduce it so that I'm at less risk. I'm going to quest with a bunch of my guys or something like that. So yeah, that's a pretty interesting take on the strength reduction mechanic there. Yeah. All right, so next we've got a couple of Stitch cards. Starting off with the first location reveal, and it is the Galactic Council Chamber, which I think is the only way I could say that's such a fantastic name. It is a 3-cost inkable. It has 7 willpower and a move cost of 1 and 1 lore. And the ability Federation Decree. While you have an alien or robot character here, this location can't be challenged.
Nice.
So is there, what are the differences between doing like an action or a character card versus obviously the difference of aspect ratio, but are there other differences?
Well, I would say the focus is definitely different, right? You're gonna pan out a lot more in order to capture the grandeur of the location. This one specifically was one of our very first challenges because the whole point of this set is that you're out to sea, right?
Oh, sure,
on this really weird area, but then you have some locations, right? So instead of just doing, I think we could have gone the route of let's just do an island, right?
Right.
They're all on an island.
Yeah.
We figured this is so big and it's it would be so cool to have that whirlpool in the center.
I love that.
We're you know what? It's just sticking out of the sea. It's doing some strange stuff. The physics again that I was starting to talk about. You start to see a little bit more of it here, right? There's whirlpools. There's these big tentacle pieces coming up. There's
kind of coming up on that side
that are going to appear later in the set. And as you can tell, probably this is not the most canon version of
it's got a
lot of steel influences.
It's got the steel symbols there. I also love the Stitch outline
isn't that cool
in the glass there. That's really cool.
He's such a crowd favorite. I don't know anybody that doesn't love Stitch, so we're just add him in there, make sure that it's obvious
Stitch.
What we're kind of
more Stitch. All right, well, speaking of Stitch, I have another action card, but it's got some delightful Stitch art. It is Hot Potato, everybody. It is a 3-cost inkable action, and the abilities choose one. Either deal 2 damage to chosen character or banish chosen item. And it says, this is not going to end well.
Right. And you could almost hear his voice in this, right? He's kind of tossing it. And
this bizarre, what is this? It's like carrot ray gun thing with he's got a ray gun. He stuffed the carrot in it and he's throwing
it's meant to be it's about to explode, right? He stuffed the carrot in there and it's
And then he like pulls the trigger. It's like,
yeah.
he's like, yeah. And then of course told really well by the ability itself, which is, I can either throw it at a character or I can throw it at an item and it'll blow it up. That is super fun.
Every time I see these images and how they're paired with the mechanic and or the flavor text, I feel like, man, I owe these guys dinner or something.
Yeah, right. That's amazing.
Such a wonderful job tying it all together.
And it's not easy. So, especially like some abilities like this could feel, now this one I think is close because it looks like you're throwing a thing, but it's not always clear, like, to tell the story of what the card is doing in the game. And so to be able to bridge it, I think this is a really good example. I also really like the detail that since this is glowing, he's got on his face. You can see the glow on his hand and his face there.
Did you notice the starfish though?
What? Where's the starfish? Oh, right back there. That's awesome.
And kind of going back to what we were talking about, the weird physics. You look in the back; those are not mountains. That's meant to be the water rising.
Oh, right, like the maze.
Weird,
Yes. Oh, that's very cool. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, and now we talked about it earlier, but here it is. Stitch, Alien Buccaneer.
Yes.
He is a 4-cost uninkable card. He has 3 strength, 4 willpower, 2 lore, shift 3, an ability ready for action. When you play this character, if you use shift to play him, you may put an action card from your discard on top of your deck. And once again, we have a lot going on in this piece as well.
So much. Yeah, this started out as a just kind of let's just get the artwork in there, and then it just turned into this just epic piece. And this opened our eyes because Christian, who is the artist on this, is now doing a lot of VizDev work for us.
Oh, cool. Yeah. What's VizDev work?
So VizDev meaning all of the stuff where we as set leads create the world that they're
development. It's visual development. I see. Okay, yeah.
It's our fancy.
Oh, so it's like blue sky, like kind of exploring what things might look. So man, what a fun job that must be.
Yeah, it is. It is a lot of fun for these guys, and I mean the amount of detail that he puts into it. Pretty much any of the costumes that you see that are non-canon, and we're exploring these things. He goes in and does a lot of detail and a lot of background. He'll do research, and he actually goes
cool.
way deep. I mean, look at Scrump. He has a little eye patch. The fact that he has an eye patch too, and that he's in there, it's just it's packed with so much.
Oh, you got the chest hair coming out of the flowing. It's very it's almost like a cover of a novel. You got what I like is his blasters have been kind of piraticized or whatever. Like it totally looks like it says blaster clearly, but it looks like you might find it on a ship as well. And then wooden swords. Yeah, it's really interesting. He's got wooden swords.
He's spicy, but not not the regular metal blade kind of spicy. Awesome. But yeah, he's awesome, and he has a lot of detail built into every piece. Like even the sash. If you notice the sash, the little detail we threw in there. Oh
yeah! Oh my God, the flowers on the sash.
That is Lilo's. That's meant to look like Lilo's dress. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Oh, and then you got some seagulls there. Oh, really cool. Oh, and some ink runners in the back too.
Different style ink runners. Yeah.
So it's kind of good. They're like we can zoom in on them so we can see all this stuff. All right, so now we just got a bunch more cards from a bunch of different franchises, and we're going to start with Alice in Wonderland. We've got the Mad Hatter's Teapot.
Yes.
This is a 2-cost inkable item. It has the ability, no room, exert and pay an ink. Each opponent puts the top card of their deck into their discard. And the flavor text says, Alice says, my goodness, the tea missed the cup. And Mad Hatter says, no, my dear, the cup missed the tea.
That's right.
Which I really enjoy. And there's actually a little thing, I don't know many people know this, but some of this stuff, some of the flavor text is from the show itself. Some is written by our wonderful narrative team.
Yes.
But there's a hidden part of the card that actually tells you where it's from. So this line right here, if it looks like a pen like this, then it was written by our narrative team. Sometimes it looks like an open book, and that means it came straight from the story itself. Yeah. Now, sometimes you'll see a little musical sign, and that is when it is a lyric from a song. And so it's just a fun little detail. It's been out since day one. So go back and look at your cards. You'll see some of those. You'll see a little book there, and that means it came straight from the movie. Sometimes you'll see this, and it came straight from the minds of our narrative team. Yeah.
We're big on iconography, and I think that helps, right? Like,
I mean, it's kind of speaking of that, it's kind of impressive how much information y'all have been able to put on the faces of these cards in a way that isn't like overwhelming. Yeah. So that's really cool.
I appreciate that because I'm not a reader. So I'm thankful that you're reading all of these. I get to look at the pretty art.
It's very pretty. Yeah.
it's
This is fun. You see the
lot of
magic
cool
kind
details.
of making the tea dodge the cup or making the cup dodge the tea. It's really hard to say based on what the Mad Hatter thinks. All right. Okay. Next up, we have Sisu in her element. She is a 5-cost inkable, 3 strength, 6 willpower, 2 lore. She has Challenger +2, and the quote, "I'm a water dragon. This is water. It's sort of my thing."
Yeah.
Which, again, and see, look, you can see the book there means that's straight from the source right there. Oh, and Sisu's always a delight. Like, you guys always knock out. She's got such splendid colors, and oh man, this is such a beautiful piece there. I love the tiny detail on the tail. I mean, down at card size, it's going to be really tough to see, I think, but it's really neat. All the stripes. Yeah, this is a fun one.
Yeah, but when you have it like this, and hopefully on other products later down the line, like you're gonna be able to really appreciate those details. But I think my favorite is like how she's walking on the droplets of water, right? And
Oh, I see. Yeah.
really
Oh, that's
emphasizing that
super
word,
cool.
yeah.
Oh, I love that. Oh, yeah.
So she's not surfing. She's walking on. She's walking on
that's
water,
amazing.
and you get to see some of the walls coming up around her.
I think, like, from a gameplay standpoint too, having 6 willpower and 2 lore, like that's you're gonna probably get at least 4 lore out of her, if not 6. And so she can be quite formidable.
Yeah.
All right, one of my favorite enemies, creatures, I don't know what you call them. They're called Kakamura. Moana is one of my favorite movies of all time, and these tiny creatures are just hilarious because they're cute and also threatening, like cute and creepy or cute and scary. I'm not sure how to describe it. Anyway, so we have a 4-cost uninkable. This is Kakamura Boarding Party, 5 strength, 2 willpower, 1 lore. They have Rush and the quote, "Moana, do you think they saw us? Maui, they saw us."
As evidenced by him jumping into action. Right?
Now, I suspect you've had to do a lot of Kakamura for this set.
Yes.
Was there kind of a deep dive into the Kakamura?
Yes, yeah, and that was a whole, basically a whole lesson that we had to
Because
have.
none of them are the same, right? I mean,
No.
they're all different, right?
Yeah,
So
they're all meant to be very different, and there's a lot of different shape language that gets built into each one of them, and how the ranks also, which is also very cool.
Oh, is that right?
We do have the chief in here.
Oh, yeah,
It's
sure.
very
You're...
obvious to see the chief. Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, I have to wonder, like, do the stripes, are they, like, is there, something to each one? It's just really interesting to see and of course on screen, it was so effective to see all the different Kakamura at the same time.
And you see different shape sizes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Okay. And now next up we have Tigger in the Crow's Nest. Oh, I love the Winnie the Pooh characters.
Yes.
From a very young child, I've always been a fan. And of course, Tigger's a lot of fun. He is a 3-cost inkable character, 0 strength, 4 willpower, 1 lore, has evasive and the ability Swash Your Buckles. Whenever you play an action, this character gets +1 strength and +1 lore this turn. Now, this set is amazing because almost in every piece, there's just a lot, right? There's just a lot because of the action and the, it's really cool.
And that speaks a lot to the shape language that we're building into all of these, right?
Now, you say shape language a lot. Like, unpack that a bit. So what do you mean by shape language?
Sure. So each ink has a different shape language.
Oh, okay, sure.
Where we're discussing, like for instance, here, Tigger is meant to be Ruby. He's not a shy character, right? He's an adventurer. He's out
brash.
there. Yeah, he's very brash. Yeah, these are the types of characters that will jump into action first and ask questions later. So when you look at these cards, you're going to see a little flair of that side of the character. And then also we're building in a lot of different sharp angles, right? Because it's Ruby.
Oh, sure,
Ruby's
like the symbol. It's got
Yeah.
those sharp angles.
Yeah,
Okay,
and if you look at the ink bar, you see a lot of the zigzags that are built into that. You'll see that echoed into not only the way that the rope is kind of swaying around, which, I mean, brilliant work by John.
Yeah, that's really great.
But you also see that echoed in the birds that are in the background.
Clouds, like they're
clouds,
almost lightning bolt clouds. Yeah,
the
that's
very,
really cool.
very interesting looking ink runners that you see in the background.
yeah.
You also see a lot of the very zigzaggy shape language in those as well.
So cool. I like that when I first saw this art, I thought he had both feet on the mast.
Yeah.
But he doesn't. He has one foot on the mast and then his tail actually wrapped around the mast and his other foot's kind of
leaning
going towards that.
forward, yeah.
It's like, it's very Ruby, right? It's
Yeah.
very, that's super fun.
Never sure footing.
No,
These characters.
why? Next up, we have Jim Hawkins, Honorable Pirate. He is a 7-cost inkable, 4 strength, 7 willpower, 2 lore. He's got Bodyguard and the ability Hire a Crew. When you play this character, look at the top 4 cards of your deck. You may reveal any number of pirate character cards and put them into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. Now, this is just a fantastic. I don't know if you know this, but that's the map from the movie.
It is. Oh wow, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, we
this
like
is
to
another-
throw those little details in there. For
And
you
then
guys.
there's lots of what's with the
those are
shadows
all-
back there?
Those are all actually aliens from the crew. that
Oh
you
right.
met.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
my. And
It's hard to tell, but they're back there. Sure. And most of them do appear in other cards. You get to see them.
oh yeah, is that right? Oh, that's very cool. That's very cool. I like this. Of course, I've been playing this in my pirate deck, and it's one of those I play against my opponent, and it's if you make your deck right, you just end up drawing on average 2 or 3 cards out of it. It's super strong. I mean, you're paying the cost for it, but it's a really fun card.
Yeah.
All right, and finally, we have the last card is a legendary, and it is Yzma, Conniving Chemist. She is a 4-cost inkable, 3 strength, 3 willpower, 2 lore. She has the ability Feel the Power. Exert if you have fewer than 3 cards in your hand. Draw until you have 3 cards in your hand. And the quote on the bottom says, "One of these has got to work. Let's see what happens." All right, Yzma. She looks like she's fun to draw. I'm no artist, but she just looks fun to draw to me.
She is, and you'll notice a lot of the shape language again in this. A lot of the
Oh, for
crescent
amethyst.
shapes.
Yeah, okay.
So there's a lot of crescent shapes that are echoed everywhere that we can get them.
So cool. So you like go back, like look at all your amethyst cards and look for the crescents. It's
Yeah.
really neat. I love that detail.
A lot of that, typically we say that it looks like magical fire.
Oh, sure.
It
Yeah,
has
yeah.
that very crescent shape language to it, and we throw that into windows when we can. In this case, and
That's so cool.
yeah, pretty much every detail that you see in the background, especially.
I could also hear a lot of players. I can hear their eyebrows raising because this ability can be really good. I mean, a lot of you all know, like when you play, you can run out of cards sometimes, like, because you're inking a card and playing one or more cards in your turn, you could, by the time you're at, I don't know, depending on your deck, you could be out of cards. So this is a character that will make sure that at least for a turn, you're not going to run out of cards. Now you combine this with some bodyguard, and next thing you know, you're drawing a lot of cards. So this is a really exciting card. And that is what we have today for card reveals. I want to thank Edgar for coming out. And I also want to say, I've always been a fan of your team's work, the creative team. The reason it's beautiful is because of the creative team. And Edgar, thank you so much for making this a beautiful game. It is outstanding. So thanks for coming by, man.
Thank you.
Well, that's it for the announcements, but if you stick around after the break, you're going to learn about one of my favorite ways to play, a new play format we call Pack Rush.